Good afternoon. Glad you're here. Thank you. Spasiba, as they would say in Russia. Thank you. Здравствуйте. Hello. So I hope that one of the things that you're planning to do, whether you're in Russia or we're in Sweden tomorrow, then Finland, try out a word or two of the local language. It'll put a smile on their face. So we are going to talk about opulent St. Petersburg. It is, to me, one of the richest places I've ever been. It is just absolutely beautiful. I know there's a few new faces in here, so just quickly, who am I? Author, speaker, traveler, been to 32 countries. My goal is not to visit every place in the world. I find places I like to go, and I go back to them. My wife likes to travel with me, too. She's just not with me on this particular trip. I've flown over 1 million miles on one airline. I've got my million-mile card, and some people say that's not a badge of courage. That's, you've put up with a lot of stuff. But I love cruising. Cruising is great because, you don't have to unpack every day, and you get to visit so many wonderful places. This is a cruise that I really love. When you think about the variety of the places that you can see just on this one cruise, it's just fantastic. So I really love this one. Quick quiz about Russia. Who knows its official name? Anybody shout out the official name for Russia? Okay, it's the Russian Federation. Federal subjects, that means how many areas belong to it? It's 83. It's quite a bit. Then it borders with how many countries? Okay, 14 by land and 2 by water. And when was it formed? This is recent. Anybody got a guess on that one? Close. 1991, the dissolution of the Soviet Union. And its population, about 143 million, 8th largest in the world. We're listening to the Russian anthem right now. Okay, St. Petersburg. It's along the Neva River. And it's at the Gulf of Finland at the Baltic Sea, and it really is a strategic place for Russia because that's its access. I mean, it does have Kaliningrad now, which used to be Königsberg, but it really has the primary access to the Baltic Sea for Russia. So in Russia, sometimes it's called Petersburg or Peter, and it was founded by Tsar Peter the Great in 1703. One of the interesting things about St. Petersburg is that it's twice been the capital of the country, and its name has changed a few times. And I think you could probably figure out why its name has been changed to Petrograd, then to Leningrad, of course, then back to St. Petersburg, and it's second largest, of course, to Moscow. So this. A rough picture of St. Petersburg, and to give you an idea, boy, you get up close, it's even harder to see. I'll stand back here. Some of the places, and I apologize, I still haven't been able to figure out why it doesn't show up quite as well, but we've got the Hermitage right down in here. St. Isaac's Cathedral is over here, and then the Church of the Spilled Blood is, right in this area. I think it's right there. So the area, and one of the highlights, of course, is the Peter and Paul Fortress. And that was actually the original place, the original founding of St. Petersburg was at the Peter and Paul Fortress for a pretty particular reason. And the reason was that it was built there in 1703 as a protection against Sweden. So if you were here a couple days ago and I talked about Sweden back then was quite a warring country. And so Peter the Great started this area as a way to protect itself. Something that's probably not a big surprise is that they started building these huge residences, and they needed one in the winter and the one in the summer to demonstrate their power and their wealth, not only internally, but to the rest of the world, just to show, how powerful they were. It's a culture and society that just seems to never go away, that we need to show that, how powerful we are. So the Peter and Paul Fortress, this island right here that we saw on the map, and if you'll notice as you just kind of scout around the rest of this little area, it's not an all-encompassing picture, but you really don't see very many tall buildings. So we're going to get back to that particular fact in a minute here. So its official name is the SS Peter and Paul Fortress. And so my question for you is, who knows what the initials SS stand for? Anybody want to yell that one out? Saints. Okay, Saints. Wow. Very good. Yeah, so it stands for Saints as in St. Peter and St. Paul. And as I said, it started in 1703 for defense against Sweden, and thus marked the beginning of St. Petersburg. But as we go back to the cathedral there, what we see is that the fortress itself, the cathedral was built first, and then the fortress. The cathedral is called the SS Peter and Paul Cathedral, and it is still the tallest architectural building in St. Petersburg. So, over 300 years old, and they haven't built anything taller architecturally than St. Petersburg. Inside the cathedral is this statue to Peter the Great, and the head was modeled from a mask made during his lifetime. And what I like about this particular statue is you can see his face. I mean, to me, he's pent up. He's ready to go. He's full of energy. Picture the opulent nave inside the cathedral. And so the nave, what is the nave? Okay, it's really the entrance, the central approach to the main altar, this area right up here. We're going to take a little closer look at that area now, and you can just see just the beauty that's there. I know that these aren't the clearest and the sharpest pictures that are being shown up here, but I think the color comes through. And although its structure is a little bit different than most of the ones that are up there, it is just, I don't know, when I go to places like that, I just stand and I'm in awe that when you think of the detail, you think of, maybe in Italy with Michelangelo and the amount of time that they spent building that. Just the time, the energy and devotion to building these things. So the Hermitage, definitely someplace, to go visit. I've talked with a few people here. The issue with visiting the Hermitage is you want more. It's kind of like that, kid, you say you can have one scoop of ice cream and they want 3. You'll have a little bit of time inside the Hermitage and you're going to want more. The largest in Russia, this is to me the amazing thing, that if you just spent 30 seconds at each exhibit, 8 hours a day, every day of the year, it would take you 8.5 years to see everything. So, yeah, so if next time you talk with someone who says they've been to St. Petersburg and they've seen the Hermitage, like, and how many years did you spend, there at the Hermitage? It's like people going to Washington, D.C., and they say, yeah, I've got a half day there, and I'm going to go to the Smithsonian. Like, yeah, which one of the 14 massive buildings are you going to go to? So there is an awful lot to see. And the beautiful thing is that they do loan out some of their exhibits. So it's possible to see them in other countries around the world, too. But it is just fantastic. I sneaked off on one of my little trips. I love Picasso, and I saw some Picassos, and I kind of snuck away from the crowd. They don't like that, but I did it anyway. There's several buildings. We're going to show a map of the Hermitage. It originally started with the Winter Palace, where Catherine the Great lived. Then she built what's called the Small Hermitage to start holding her art collection. I mean, that's what everybody does, right? You start collecting art. Well, we need to add on, It's honey, I need to